Good afternoon, everybody. It's the John Ross Show. Just touching base for a few moments here on this Friday afternoon on 12/12/25. We're doing a little before our normal 5 p.m. time because we have another engagement this afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. So we're just going to talk a few moments about nativity scenes on ice. And ICE, I mean immigration customs people. Uh, it's 28 degrees outside right now, so that's not too bad. I guess we don't have any snow right yet. Might be coming later, maybe. So there's articles out there about this uh, type of activity. One newspaper that's been covering this is called The Guardian, and they have a little article on this, and I'm going to just read a few brief comments from that article, and you can get that online or subscribe to The Guardian, and I'm just going to read a few lines from there. This is about locally, just up in Evanston, and some news channels have been covering that. One striking story, retelling of the Christmas story at Lake Street Church, that's in Chicago suburb of Evanston, features the baby Jesus lying in the snow, but wrapped in a kind of thin foil blankets given out in emergencies and regularly as bedding to ICE detainees, and with his wrists wrapped. And here's a little more about Mary. Mary stands nearby, just outside the church, wearing a gas mask, which anti-ICE protesters have been wearing to protect from the tear gas. She is flanked by figures of Roman soldiers depicted as having detained Jesus prior to his execution. But these soldiers are labeled ICE. ICE. Very interesting. Yes, so there's other churches that have been doing that in Chicagoland area. There's one in Urban Village who's done that too, according to this article. And there's others across the country. I know there's been in Massachusetts at St. Susanna, they say in this article. A tiny figure of Jesus was removed from the nativity scene and placed in its hand-painted side. ICE was here. oh. So this church has got some flack there in Massachusetts, but it's standing firm. It's a Catholic church. And they're saying, and that's what the story is, we love our refugees. And that's basically the story here. They're standing up, and we're standing up for our refugees. We know that Jesus was born from the Bible accounts, he was born in Bethlehem, came there with his mother and his father. Well, we won't say his father in that sense, but his father in a regular sense. Joseph and Mary were in Bethlehem. And this holy child was born in a manger, which is a cheap place, no place to stay. These were people who were being shoved around by the Roman government. These weren't not the highbrow people. They were shoved around. And who came to first hear him and see him were not dignitaries, but shepherds. they had an angel spoke to them. That's interesting. An angel came to shepherds. So that's what happened there. Angels came to shepherds and they came and worshiped Jesus there. And later on, we have the Magi coming from the east. And they were there too. And then we had Herod in there too, the bad boy. He wanted to worship Jesus, he said. But this is like a lot of political leaders. He was a liar, a big fat liar. And the Lord, in a vision, angels told him, those wise men, to skedaddle back to Iran, Persia, where they were from. Get out of there, take another route. Don't touch that Herod guy. And because Herod was such a bad boy, he used his authority like a lot of leaders do. They overuse their authority. He started to kill babies too that were under 1 year old. Or was it two? I think it was two. And so Mary and Joseph had to be a refugee and go to Egypt. So Jesus was called out of Egypt. So we have bad governments. We still have bad governments, and we got to shine in the light in bad governments. But the story is that God is still with us. You say, it's interesting. His kingdom is everlasting. Those followers of Jesus are part of his kingdom and want to spread that news of joy that Jesus gives, the love he gives, the hope he gives. That's what the message of Christmas is. It's Jesus that came into this world, a God man. So ice cannot affect Jesus. And ice is not going to change, it's not going to be a permanent thing here in our country. No, no, no. I can see it, I know it, and you know it. This is just a temporary sideshow. And it's anti-immigrant, it's got a racial tendencies, racism here. We have to get that out of our system and repent of that. Our country has to repent of its racism here. So that's what we got to do. And those nativity scenes from around the country that are protesting ICE are trying to make that statement with art that make us think of what the real story of Christmas is. It's God in the flesh in a broken world. And this is a broken world, and Jesus is still here. He's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. So we got to honor him. So I'm going to be going out tonight and working with some people on that to shelter. I'm going to be helping with some food there, and that's a good thing. We got to keep helping others. And I want you to help others. We've said about several of our places in the past. I was going to show these really fast here. The Northern Illinois Food Bank. Let's just get these all up here. These are just a few of the spots in the area that we can help. I'm going to get them up here as soon as I can get them up. Get them up here. These are just a few of the food banks in the area. And the Northern Illinois, you can help out and give them some helps at this Christmas time. Marie Wilkinson in Aurora area, and the Faith Food Pantry in Aurora, and the Salvation Army who has a food bank, and they can show your love by throwing money in the red kettles. And then this one on the far right is the Batavia Food Pantry. These are the pantries out there that need your help. There's others too. And just help out your local food pantry and spread the word that they are there to help. So let's remember that Christmas is a time that God became flesh, and He wants us to show His kingdom here in our community and in the world. So we got to stand up for those that are hurting, the refugee and others. We've talked about that too, about the refugee too and the immigrant. So we wish you a good weekend here, and just remember to put the love of Christ in your thinking here for the next days and the weeks and months ahead. We got to think how to love others. So for now, this is John Ross with the John Ross Show. We'll see you then again on Monday, Lord willing. We'll see you then on Monday, Lord willing. Bye bye now. God bless.